Have you ever looked at a tiny copper coin in your pocket and wondered if it might secretly be worth hundreds or even thousands of times more than the number stamped on its face? Imagine picking up a small coin that seems ordinary at first glance, only to discover that collectors around the world are searching for it because of a tiny mint mark, a striking error, or a rare design mistake. That is exactly the mystery and fascination surrounding the 2002 2-cent euro coin with the A mint mark, a small piece of metal whose story travels across continents, currencies, and decades of numismatic history. What appears to be a simple coin worth only 2 euro cents can sometimes become a treasured collectible if it carries the right kind of mistake. This story explores how that happens, how a coin enters circulation with a hidden flaw, and how collectors transform those flaws into extraordinary value. The 2-cent euro coin itself was introduced when the euro currency began circulating across Europe in 2002. The euro replaced many older national currencies and unified the monetary system of numerous European countries. When the euro was launched, billions of coins were minted so that citizens could begin using the new currency immediately. The 2-cent coin became one of the smallest denominations in the new system, worth 1/50th of a euro and made of copper-plated steel with a diameter of about 18.75 millimeters and a weight of approximately 3.06 grams. Despite its tiny value, the coin quickly gained importance in daily life. It circulated in markets, grocery stores, vending machines, and parking meters across the Eurozone. Most people treated it as loose change, often collecting handfuls of the coins without giving them much thought. Yet among collectors, every coin had a story. Each country issuing euro coins used a different national design on one side while keeping a common European design on the other. This system meant that even the smallest coin existed in many different variations depending on the country, the year, and the mint where it was struck. Germany, for example, produced 2-cent coins in several different mints, each identified by a small letter mint mark. These letters include A for Berlin, D for Munich, F for Stuttgart, G for Karlsruhe, and J for Hamburg. The presence of these mint marks allows collectors to identify exactly where a coin was produced and sometimes even trace the circumstances of its production. In 2002, when the euro coins were first issued, Germany alone minted billions of these pieces to ensure there would be enough coins for everyday transactions. Records indicate that more than 2 billion German 2-cent coins dated 2002 entered circulation. Because such a huge number were produced, most of these coins remain extremely common today. Under normal circumstances, a 2002 2-cent coin is worth exactly what it says on its face, 2 euro cents. Collectors might pay a little more for coins in perfect uncirculated condition, but even then the value usually remains very small. Yet the fascinating world of coin collecting has always been driven by rarity, and rarity often appears when something goes wrong during the minting process. Coin errors occur when the machinery that strikes coins makes a mistake. The minting process is highly precise. Blank metal discs called planchets are fed into presses where engraved dies stamp the design onto the metal under enormous pressure. If anything in that process is misaligned, damaged, or improperly prepared, the result can be a coin with an unusual feature. These mistakes are usually caught quickly, but occasionally some defective coins escape the mint and enter circulation. Collectors are especially interested in coins that show clear evidence of such errors. For example, one common error type is an off-center strike. This happens when the planchet is not positioned correctly between the dies during the strike, causing the design to appear shifted toward one side. Depending on how dramatic the shift is, collectors may value such coins anywhere from a small premium to several tens of euros. Another type of error occurs when the die itself becomes damaged or develops cracks. When this happens, the coin may display extra lines, raised metal lumps, or distorted letters and numbers. These die errors can sometimes become famous among collectors if they appear in limited quantities before the mint replaces the faulty die. The 2002 2-cent euro coin became particularly interesting because it was part of the very first year of euro coinage. During that initial production period, mints across Europe were working at extraordinary speed to create billions of coins. With such massive production, occasional mistakes were almost inevitable. One of the most famous examples connected with the early euro coins is the Italian design mistake known as the Mole Antonelliana error. The Italian 2-cent coin normally features the famous building called the Mole Antonelliana in Turin. However, a small number of coins were accidentally struck using the design intended for the 1-cent coin. Because this mistake occurred only briefly before it was corrected, collectors prize these pieces. Some examples have reportedly sold for more than $2,000 in auctions. Stories like this inspire collectors to examine every coin carefully. Even a minor variation can dramatically change the coin's value. In the case of the German 2-cent coin with the A mint mark from Berlin, the value usually remains very close to face value unless the coin shows a special feature. However, if that same coin displays a significant mint error, collectors may be willing to pay far more. The fascination with coin errors has deep historical roots. For centuries, coins were struck by hand or by relatively primitive machines, and mistakes were more common than they are today. In earlier eras, some error coins even became historical artifacts that revealed how minting technology evolved. Modern collectors continue this tradition by studying coins not only for their designs but also for the imperfections that reveal the story of their creation. The idea that a mistake can make something valuable may seem strange at first, but it makes sense in the world of collectibles. When a mint produces billions of identical coins, each individual coin has little rarity. But when only a handful of coins contain a particular error, those few pieces become rare. Rarity combined with collector demand creates value. Another reason the 2002 coins attract attention is the excitement surrounding the birth of the euro currency itself. The introduction of the euro was one of the most ambitious monetary transitions in modern history. Countries across Europe had to redesign their coins, update financial systems, and educate citizens about the new currency. During that historic moment, billions of coins dated 2002 were minted as symbols of a new economic era. Because these coins were the first of their kind, collectors often consider them historically significant even without errors. Some people assemble complete sets of 2002 coins from every Eurozone country. Others focus on collecting coins from each mint mark. For example, a collector might try to gather all 5 German mint marks for the same year, including the Berlin A mint. Condition also plays a major role in determining value. Coins that remain in mint state, meaning they show no signs of wear from circulation, are much more desirable than coins that have been used in everyday transactions. A coin that has spent years in pockets, cash registers, and vending machines may show scratches, discoloration, or worn details. These signs of wear reduce collector value unless the coin possesses a remarkable error. In contrast, coins preserved in mint sets or collector packaging often remain in pristine condition. Such coins can sometimes sell for several times their face value simply because they are part of a complete collectible set. Beyond errors and condition, mint marks themselves can influence value. Each mint produces a different quantity of coins, and sometimes the output of one mint is much smaller than another. When collectors discover that a particular mint mark is scarcer, they begin searching for those coins. Even a small difference in mintage numbers can create a noticeable difference in market demand. Another factor that affects value is the type of error present on the coin. Some errors are subtle and may only increase the value slightly, while others are dramatic and extremely rare. Examples include double strikes, clipped planchets, and coins struck on the wrong metal blank. A double strike occurs when a coin is struck twice by the dies. If the coin shifts between strikes, the design may appear duplicated or overlapping. Such coins are immediately noticeable and often become prized collectibles. A clipped planchet error occurs when the blank metal disc is improperly cut from the metal sheet before minting. This leaves the coin with a missing curved section along its edge. Because the error occurs before the design is struck, the coin still displays the full design in the remaining area, making the missing piece especially distinctive. Coins struck on the wrong planchet are even rarer. In these cases, the mint accidentally uses a blank intended for a different denomination or metal composition. The resulting coin may have the correct design but the wrong size or color. The fascination with these errors is partly psychological. People are naturally drawn to the idea that something ordinary might secretly be extraordinary. A coin worth 2 cents might hide in a jar of change for years before someone realizes that it contains a rare error. This sense of hidden treasure fuels the excitement of coin collecting. My very important coin collectors, if you ever picked up a tiny copper coin from your pocket and almost thrown it away without a second thought, only to later wonder if that small coin could actually be worth far more than its face value. Imagine discovering that a coin most people consider nearly worthless might secretly be a hidden collectible worth dozens, hundreds, or even thousands of times more than the number printed on it. This possibility is exactly what fascinates collectors around the world when they search through their change looking for rare coins. One coin that sometimes sparks curiosity among collectors is the 2013 2-cent euro coin with the R Mint mark, a small copper-colored coin that appears ordinary but may carry hidden value if it contains unusual minting errors, striking mistakes, or rare variations. At first glance, the coin seems extremely simple. It is a 2-cent euro coin, meaning its official value is only 2 cents of a euro. Most people treat these coins as spare change. They collect them in jars, lose them between sofa cushions, or spend them without looking twice. But in the world of numismatics, which is the study and collecting of coins, even the smallest coin can become important if it possesses certain rare characteristics. Before exploring the possible errors and variations that can make this coin valuable, it helps to understand what the coin actually is and where it comes from. The 2013 2-cent euro coin with the R Mint mark was produced in Italy at the mint located in Rome. The letter R is the identifying mint mark for the Rome Mint. This small letter appears on the national side of the coin and tells collectors exactly where the coin was manufactured. The coin belongs to the euro currency system used by many European countries. The euro was introduced as a physical currency in 2002, replacing several national currencies across Europe. Since that time, billions of euro coins have been produced to supply daily transactions across the eurozone. The 2-cent coin is one of the smallest denominations in the euro system. It measures about 18.75 millimeters in diameter and weighs approximately 3.06 grams. The coin is made from copper-plated steel, which gives it its distinctive reddish copper color. The design of the coin includes two sides with different meanings. The common European side displays the number 2 and the words euro cent along with a map showing Europe's place on the globe. This design represents the unity of European nations within the euro currency system. The national side of the Italian 2-cent coin features a famous architectural landmark known as the Mole Antonelliana located in the city of Turin. This tall historic building is one of Italy's recognizable monuments and was selected as the symbol for the 2-cent coin when the euro designs were first introduced. The engraver responsible for the design was Luciana de Simone, whose work appears on millions of Italian euro coins. Her design captures the elegant silhouette of the building rising upward, symbolizing culture and history. In 2013, a very large number of these coins were produced. Records show that about 149,975,180 pieces were minted at the Rome Mint that year. Because such a large quantity entered circulation, the vast majority of these coins are common and have little value beyond their face value. In ordinary circulated condition, collectors generally consider the coin worth about 2 euro cents or slightly more depending on condition. Some coin guides estimate that a typical example in uncirculated condition might reach around 25 to 50 cents in the collector market, while a proof version made for collectors could reach several euros. However, the real excitement surrounding coins like this does not come from their standard versions. The excitement comes from the possibility that some coins may contain minting errors or unusual variations. A mint error occurs when something goes wrong during the coin production process. Coin production involves extremely precise machinery that strikes designs onto metal blanks using powerful presses. Even though modern mints operate with advanced technology and strict quality control, mistakes occasionally occur. These mistakes can produce coins that look slightly different from the intended design. When such coins escape the mint and enter circulation, collectors often become eager to find them because they are far rarer than normal coins. One of the most common types of mint error is an off-center strike. This occurs when the metal blank called a planchet is not properly positioned inside the press when the coin is struck. As a result, part of the design appears shifted toward one side of the coin while the opposite side may be blank or partially missing. If a 2013 or 2-cent coin were struck significantly off-center while still showing the full date and mint mark, collectors could consider it a desirable error coin. The value would depend on how dramatic the misalignment is and how clearly the error appears. Another possible error is a double strike. In this situation the coin is struck twice by the dies that imprint the design. If the coin shifts slightly between strikes, the result may show overlapping images or duplicated details. Such coins can appear almost distorted, with letters or numbers repeated in unusual positions. Double-struck coins are popular among collectors because the error is often visible to the naked eye. A double-struck 2-cent coin from 2013 could potentially sell for a much higher price than a normal example. Die cracks represent another interesting type of mint error. During the minting process, the steel dies that strike coins endure tremendous pressure. Over time they can develop small cracks or fractures. When a cracked die strikes a coin, the crack appears as a raised line across the coin's surface. Sometimes these cracks form distinctive patterns that collectors recognize and classify. A dramatic die crack running across the Mole Antonelliana design could transform an ordinary coin into a collectible variety. Another error that can occur during coin production is a clipped planchet. Before coins are struck, metal blanks are punched from sheets of metal. If the punching process overlaps or misaligns, a portion of the blank may be missing before the coin is even struck. When the coin press stamps the design onto such a blank, the resulting coin appears to have a curved section missing from its edge. The design remains intact on the remaining portion of the coin, making the missing piece easy to notice. Collectors often enjoy clipped planchet coins because they clearly demonstrate the stages of coin production. A more dramatic error involves coins struck on the wrong planchet. This occurs when a blank intended for a different denomination accidentally enters the press. For example, if a blank intended for a 1-cent coin were used to strike a 2-cent design, the resulting coin would have unusual dimensions or metal composition. Such wrong planchet errors are extremely rare but highly valuable when discovered. Another possible variation involves die misalignment. Normally the top and bottom dies used to strike a coin are perfectly aligned. If one die rotates slightly relative to the other, the designs on the two sides of the coin may appear rotated when the coin is flipped. Collectors often test for this by holding a coin upright and turning it vertically. If the reverse side appears sideways or inverted rather than upright, the coin may display a rotational error. Strike-through errors represent another fascinating possibility. These occur when foreign material such as grease, dust, or metal fragments becomes trapped between the die and the coin during striking. The obstruction prevents part of the design from being fully impressed, leaving unusual patterns or missing details. Grease-filled die errors can also occur when lubricant used in the machinery accumulates inside the die's recesses. This prevents certain details from being stamped onto the coin, causing letters or design elements to appear weak or partially missing. Although these types of errors might sound minor, collectors often find them extremely interesting because they reveal how coins are manufactured. Another reason coins sometimes gain value is their condition. Coins are graded on scales that measure their level of wear. A coin that has circulated heavily may show scratches, discoloration, or worn details. Such coins are usually worth only their face value. However, coins that remain in pristine condition with original mint luster are called mint state coins. These coins are often preserved in collector sets or stored carefully from the moment they are minted. Proof coins represent an even higher level of quality. These coins are struck using specially polished dies and carefully prepared planchets. They have mirror-like surfaces and extremely sharp details. Proof versions of the 2013 2-cent coin were produced in very small quantities for collectors. Only a few thousand proof coins were created compared to the nearly 150 million produced for circulation. Because of this limited production, proof coins often sell for several euros rather than 2 cents. Beyond mint errors and condition, historical context can also influence the value of coins. The euro currency itself represents a major moment in European economic history. When euro coins were introduced, they symbolized cooperation among many countries that previously used separate national currencies. Coins minted during the early decades of the euro system may become historically interesting over time simply because they represent the beginning of a shared monetary era. Another interesting fact about small euro coins is that the cost of producing them has sometimes exceeded their face value. In Italy, reports have indicated that producing 1-cent and 2-cent coins actually cost more than the value of the coins themselves. Despite this, the coins were produced in huge quantities to maintain the structure of the currency system. In recent years, some European countries have even reduced or stopped minting 1-cent and 2-cent coins because of their low purchasing power. Nevertheless, billions of these coins remain in circulation. For collectors, the abundance of such coins creates an interesting challenge. Since so many coins exist, finding a rare variation among them becomes like searching for a hidden treasure. Some collectors enjoy examining bags of coins obtained from banks. They carefully inspect each coin under magnification looking for unusual details. Others simply check the coins they receive in everyday transactions. A rare coin might appear in change from a grocery store, vending machine, or bus ticket. This unpredictability is one of the reasons coin collecting remains popular around the world. Every coin carries the possibility of discovery. Although most 2013 or 2-cent coins are common, the possibility of minting errors keeps collectors interested. A coin with a dramatic off-center strike, clipped planchet, or double strike could attract attention in auctions or online marketplaces. Values for such error coins vary widely depending on rarity and demand. Some minor errors might sell for a few euros, while more dramatic errors can command significantly higher prices. Collectors often rely on professional grading services to authenticate and evaluate rare coins. These organizations examine coins carefully and assign grades based on condition and authenticity. Once certified, a coin may become easier to sell because buyers trust the professional evaluation. The world of numismatics demonstrates that value is not always determined by the number printed on a coin. Instead, value arises from rarity, history, and human curiosity. A small copper coin worth only 2 cents can become a collectible artifact if it contains a unique mistake or unusual feature. This is why collectors encourage people to examine their coins carefully. The next time a 2-cent coin dated 2013 with the R Mint mark appears in your change, it might be worth taking a closer look. Check the edges, inspect the design, and look for anything unusual. Most likely it will be an ordinary coin worth exactly 2 cents. But occasionally, among millions of ordinary coins, one may carry a tiny mistake made by the minting machines years ago. And that tiny mistake could transform a simple coin into a piece of numismatic history worth far more than its humble face value.